Howdy folks, you're watching Deuce and Guns, and today we're talking about good but inexpensive red dot sights. Now, part of me wants to say cheap red dot sights, but a lot of people feel, and I also concur, that when you say cheap red dot sights, that implies that they are junk. And a lot of these are not junk. They're just inexpensive, and they don't have all the bells and whistles that you get with the extra money. Now, I've got two examples right here. I've got one from FieldSport right here. I've had this for years, and I have had this on pretty much everything I own at one point or another. And a more recent purchase was from Pinty, and actually this wasn't purchased by me. Pinty sent this to me to review for them, to test out for them as well. And I have put this thing through the ringer. So let's take a look at them. Now, if you go back to some of my older high point carbine videos, you'll see the FieldSport right there. Now, I just noticed FieldSport does not have a designation. There's no signature on there whatsoever. You have no idea what this is, but I have the box somewhere. There you go. FieldSport right there. So I do have the box. I do have proof that I am using a FieldSport red dot, and it has been beat up a little bit. You can see it's got some dings and dents in it, and is still working like expected. If you go back last couple of months recently, you'll see the Pinty red dot on pretty much everything I'm shooting. The 1022 when I'm shooting down the tree, that's a Pinty red dot on that. When I am testing the new reloads for the 300 Blackout, on top of that AR-15 is a Pinty red dot. And just recently, although I've not put it up on the channel yet, recently I was testing out the C308, which is the HK91 Century Arms version of the HK91. But it is chambered in 308 semi-automatic, and here I am with my Pinty on that as well. So the Pinty costs about 25 bucks or so, and what comes in the box? Well, number one, it's a very nondescript box. There's no signatures or insignias on that whatsoever. And inside the box, you get, of course, the cleaning cloth you're going to throw immediately, a lens cap cover of some sort that you're going to lose immediately, and the battery, which is nice. And it comes with a 1-inch riser. Now, the 1-inch riser, this is not going to be on all of your mounting options. It depends on what you're mounting this on, whether you're going to want that 1-inch riser or not. If you're putting this on an AR-15, you're almost always going to want that 1-inch riser. If you're putting this on this C308 or any other, like a 1022 or something of that nature, a Marlin, I don't know, Marlin Model 60 or 795 or Remington 597, I could list all the 22s I've got. You're going to probably want to get this as low down toward the barrel as possible. So no inch riser for that, unless it's necessary for a proper cheek weld. The FieldSport comes in two different flavors. Number one is the cheaper option, about $22, $23. It's a little bit cheaper than the Pinty, but it does not come with a riser of any sort. You can get it about 30 bucks with the riser. Now, that was not an option when I purchased this, so I had to opt out and buy a riser on my own. This was such a cheap one, of course, that I bought. I'm pretty sure I picked this up on Amazon as well for, I don't know, $4, $5, $6 or whatever. But they come in at about the same price as the Pinty, a few dollars here or there, but it's going to be about the same. Now, I cannot tell which one of these is better. I really can't. They both have their pluses and minuses, but when you look at them, if you look at them side by side, there's a close-up right there. They look pretty dang identical. The only difference is the 45-degree angle on the brightness adjustment knob, but everything else seems to be identical. So I'm pretty sure these come out of the same factory. Now, I was just about to compare the brightness here on camera, but I noticed that the Pinty was quite a bit brighter than the FieldSport, but the FieldSport had an older battery in it. So I'm going to go ahead and take out the battery. By the way, both of these take the standard CR2032 batteries, nothing special whatsoever. So I'm going to go ahead and put a fresh one in there for the FieldSport, and we're going to compare the brightness. That is one of the things you do kind of sacrifice, is the tippy top brightness level is a little bit dim on the cheaper red dot options. Inexpensive red dot options, sorry. Now there's a close-up there for you guys to take a look at, because I think that the Pinty is a little bit brighter than the FieldSport, but there are, the FieldSport is a little bit older model. They do have a different model now that is only red. This does both red and green. So maybe the red only option is brighter. Reliability of these have been pretty good. Again, the FieldSport's been on every single AR-15 I own, including the 6.5 Grendel, 760 by 39, and of course 223 and 300 Blackout. The Pinty has been on a couple of AR-15s, the C308, and of course the 1022. And again, has been just fine reliability-wise. Now, do not expect either of these to hold a perfect zero after hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of rounds. It's just not going to happen. These are inexpensively built for a general purpose, for a plinking purpose. These are not going to be laser accurate for 1,000 rounds in. They're just not going to do that. If you need that kind of accuracy and that kind of reliability, you need to spend $300, $400, $500, plunk down enough money to get a aim point or an EOTech or something of that nature. But if you're okay with, I don't know, shooting down at a range, having fun, here you go. With that being said, neither of these sights have had an issue with me slapping them onto a rifle or pistol of whatever caliber I wished and going to the range or the farm and shooting away, and neither of them let me down. Now, I've not really done this test too much with not on camera, with the FieldSport, but the Pinty, I put it out in the rain and I froze the dang thing. I put it in the freezer, and here's some video of that. Put it in the freezer and it was fine. It did not fog up. It did not have any issues whatsoever. The battery survived. The red dot, the actual emitter issues, nothing whatsoever. It just kept on working. One of the common complaints about inexpensive red dots is that the fact that when you look through it, you can see the emitter. You can see the little emitter bumping up from the side there, and that's what projects the dot onto the front lens. But it sticks out and is kind of in your way. Now, the more money you spend on a red dot, the less that emitter is visible. Here is my Bushnell. This Bushnell usually costs between 2 and 3 times what these do, and the emitter is much lower down. Here's a close-up there. And if you're willing to spend about $200, $150, $200, which I did at one point, got myself a hollow sun here, you cannot see the emitter at all. Well, okay, you can kind of, sort of. Just a slight little bump. But again, you spend a little bit more and you get even less of emitter intrusion into your field of vision. The Pinty and the FieldSport are almost identical, so they're more than likely built in the same Chinese factory, or at least from the same parts from the same Chinese factories. Because the only difference is, there's 3 major differences. Number one, of course, is the angle of the brightness adjustment knob. The brightness of the red dot itself, the Pinty is a little bit brighter. Even with new batteries, the Pinty is a little bit brighter. And the anti-reflection surface on the end there, the Pinty is gold and the FieldSport is silver, or at least mine is silver. I think they do offer gold as well now. But those are the 3 major differences that I can tell between these 2 sights. And of course, they're about the same price as well. It's very important to remember that when you start shopping for a budget red dot sight, or really a budget optic of any sort, remember to only shop or only purchase this stuff from places where you know you have an easy return policy or process. Amazon is very easy to return products to. Walmart is very easy to return products to. A local brick and mortar that you know and trust to return products to, that's your go-to. Do not buy these from some fly-by-night place on eBay, because you have no idea if you can get your money back or not if these things fail on the first shot. So in order to save money, the companies have shifted the quality control testing team to the end consumer. You and me, we're the quality control testing team on these cheaper optics. So what I suggest to do is have a shooting day planned out and then order your optic or go buy it at Walmart or whatever. So then you can test out immediately and make sure that if it's going to break, it's going to break within the return policy period time. So in conclusion, does Deuce recommend one of these red dots, these inexpensive red dots? Yes, but only if you have the correct expectations for them. These red dots, and even this guy over here, this Bushnell over here, they are meant for the home gamer. They are meant to have fun with at the range. They are meant to do some light hunting, maybe on a 1022, shooting squirrels and rabbits maybe. They're even useful for small local competitions, little local 3-gun matches, things of that nature. These are not meant for serious hunting trips or, of course, going to war. They're just not for that. In the comments below, I will have links to all these red dots I've talked about today, so go ahead and take a look at them there. Those are affiliate links, which means that it helps me keep the lights on in the bunker and helps me get some other products to test out for you guys, but does not cost you anything extra at all. Now keep in mind that these budget red dots are very popular and they go in and out of stock on Amazon all the time. So what I recommend is either hold off for a little bit until they come back into stock, or just search around because you can find the identical looking red dot sight under a different name, and it's probably made by the same manufacturer. That is going to be it for me today, guys, but if you like this channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and if you want to be notified the second a new video comes out, go ahead and ring that notification bell. Now, if you want to stay on the Deuce and Guns channel, go ahead and click on one of these two videos right here, and that will keep you on the channel watching away. As always, you guys have a great day. See ya!